Stop buying plants until you watch this video. I'm sharing the top gardening mistakes that ruin your curb appeal, drain your bank account, and leave your yard looking like a graveyard. If you want a garden that actually stays green and thrives this year, you need to avoid these mistakes. So the first mistake is very surprising, probably to a lot of you, and it's landscape fabric. A lot of people complain about landscape fabric and they regret it. Lots of people have messed up plants, soil, and doesn't even stop weeds after a few months. The weeds will come through anyway. It is a monster to dig out as well. Some have seen success, but only when they remove it yearly. Others have seen luck with it in rock landscaping. That's where I've seen a lot of luck with it. Overall, it has not been great at keeping weeds down, and homeowners saw more luck with using cardboard. A lot of people online have said that cardboard is actually the better option instead of landscape fabric. Just avoid it. Don't even bother with it. Don't waste your money on that. A lot of people have wasted their time. Number 2, bad watering practices. This is so important, and everything's different for each plant, but under and over watering is very detrimental. I have underwatered my hydrangeas and they were not happy. You have to be consistent. Also, pay attention to the weather. If it is raining all night, the plant is good. Like, I get it, you want to be on a schedule, but like if everything's soaked already, you don't need to do it again. Also, if you just planted a new plant, they often need extra care and watering the first year. And a lot of the new gardeners don't do that. A lot of people just look at the requirements, how much it needs to be watered, and sometimes the requirements are for a plant that's already established in a location. You need to be watering it regularly early on. And of course, that depends on what plant you buy, but a lot of care has to go into plants that are new to the area. Okay, the third mistake, planting for current size. Oh, yes, I have seen this and a lot of people have shared this. Before purchasing, you need to have an idea of how large the plant will grow. Homeowners have spent hundreds removing large, difficult plants. This happens a lot with shrubs. People will purchase a privacy shrub that is the perfect size for the yard currently, but doesn't consider the size of the mature plant. You have to plan for the mature plant size, even if it takes years. You don't want to deal with the maintenance of a plant that took up too much space in your yard. I've seen this, I've witnessed this at my old home. I have heard stories of people having to take stuff down because they got a plant at the perfect size. They got one of those privacy hedges at the perfect size, but that was not the mature height. And sometimes they grow taller than what it says on the little paper that comes with it. It may really love a spot and grow even higher than what it says. So you really have to be careful. You got to do your research because you don't want something that's taking up your whole yard. As someone who has a small yard, I have to be very careful when I plant my privacy bushes because I cannot get something that is giant. Number 4, make sure it isn't invasive. Yes, this is something a lot of people have missed. A lot of people regret certain plants they've planted due to the invasiveness of a plant. There are multiple properties by me that have been taken over by bamboo. I witnessed it on a walk I did the other day, and just invasive bamboo everywhere. It was there when I moved here, so I don't know who did it, but I don't think they intended for it to take over that much of their lot, and I see it other places too. But that's just one example. But I have seen other flowers just be everywhere and people complaining about it online, in person, about how they have to keep taking this flower out because it's showing up everywhere and they can't grow anything else. And I get it. It's really annoying. A lot of people like to buy something based off of the look. They'll go to Home Depot, they'll go to a garden center nearby, they'll go to Lowe's, and the flower will be gorgeous, or the plant, but it then takes over their space. Most people want a variety. Most people want to have different things in their garden. Some people have a plan, and that plan will fail if you put in a plant that loves to take over spaces. For number 5, light and shade requirements. Now this I learned the hard way. Please pay close attention to the light requirements. Planting a plant in the wrong light can result in failure. I have personally moved my hydrangea due to too much light exposure. My front yard personally has a lot of light. You're gonna get a lot of sunshine. Every plant in my front yard needs to be full sun plants. They have to be. And everything that's not full sun goes to the back. My mom has hostas in her front yard because she doesn't get a lot of light in her front yard. I cannot have hostas in my front yard. They were thriving in my backyard last year because my backyard has some shade. So I have now moved my focus to full sun plants for my front yard. Since doing so, I have seen some success. My backyard has shade and has shade plants, and they are very happy. And that is something you really need to focus on. You can't put it somewhere it's gonna fry. It doesn't look good fried, and it's not gonna grow well. It might grow because of the sunlight, and then it'll burn. I have seen people put hostas in the sunlight, and they look terrible. They look absolutely terrible, and it pisses me off because I love those plants. Okay, number 6 is soil. You need to know your soil. You can plant a healthy, well cared for plant, but in the wrong or not so great soil, it will not thrive. Good soil holds on to minerals and delivers them to the roots. Knowing your soil type tells you if your plant will drown in clay soil or die of thirst in sand soil. Good soil holds moisture but drains well. There are pH tests and DIY tests you can do to figure out what kind of soil and how good it is. It's really going to determine how well your plant does. And number 7, this is very important: patience. There are going to be failures. There are going to be mistakes. Manage your expectations. You are not in full control. You might follow all the right steps and they still don't grow. They might get diseased, they might get eaten, or they might get saddened or destroyed by weather or family or a gardener. So I have heard plenty of stories, and I have my own. I have had cats or other animals flatten my coreopsis flowers, which I did not appreciate. Mr. Cat, get off my coreopsis. It didn't look good after that. And you don't know if the animals are biting or eating. Slugs have eaten up one of my hostas I didn't appreciate. That was my favorite one. I have heard of people's gardeners cutting their hydrangea bushes way too far back. It was more than pruning. They just cut most, and it didn't bloom as well as they wanted it to the following year. But there's a lot that can go wrong. Like for me, like my peonies are not doing well after snow piled on it, but it's not doing well. We'll see. We'll see what happens next month because it flowers for a little while in April, but I don't know if it's going to flower anything this year. But yeah, a lot of different things could happen. So it's important to manage your expectations. You may spend all this money on plants that might die. I know of somebody who bought a bunch of annuals, not knowing they were annuals. They only last 1 year. They're not coming back. You gotta know. You gotta read. An annual is not coming back. But yeah, there's a lot of different things that go wrong, and a lot of plants don't make it. Sometimes they die. You may not see it next year. A hardy plant could be extremely miserable where you place it, or sometimes your kids, your family members just do the wrong things. Like I think one of my family members cut off bushes that my mom didn't approve of. I was like, who told you to do that? So there's always gonna be different things, like even with the weather, because you may plant something early on in the season and then it gets cold again, or it freezes and the plant is just miserable. Like it may die. So you gotta really manage your expectations. Don't expect everything to live the first year. Don't expect to get everything right the first year or the second, because you're gonna try different things. You're gonna bring in new plants. You might grow some plants from seeds. It might still fail. So just manage your expectations, because there's going to be failures, because at the end of the day, we're not in control.